Oh, what a performance by Bangladesh. I mean, before this match, they were given a real dressing down by Khalid Mahmood, the
Yeah.
Bangladesh team director. He said, if you have no intent, you do not deserve to be out there on the field. And I think the Bangladesh batters took it to heart and they have put in a splendid performance.
Absolutely.
183 for 7. And the target for Sri Lanka is 184 to stay in the Asia Cup 2022. By the way, new stat alert. This is the highest T20I score for Bangladesh in the UAE.
Wow.
And if they manage to beat Sri Lanka, can you believe it? This will be the first time they've ever won a T20I in the UAE. And the intent was there, and there were some surprises up their sleeves also. Mehdi Hassan Miraz, can you believe it? Opening, and he chipped in with a very, very vital 39, along with Afif Hussain and the rest of the lower order. They all chipped in and batted with real aggressive intent, and Bangladesh have their highest score in T20Is. For the Sri Lankan bowling, Mahesh Tikshana was good with 1 for 23.
That was about it.
But Asita Fernando, he had a terrible day and he had conceded 50 runs in 4 overs. Wanindu Hasranga. We all thought that Sri Lanka's fortunes hinged on Wanindu Hasranga bowling well. But he kind of developed into Sri Lanka's Ravi Bishnoi, bowling only googlies and bowling
and
very
ironically,
few leg breaks.
I'll say this criticism even on air. I was pointing it out to Siddhar, is that at one point he actually got a wicket bowling an off break because the batsman was expecting it to be a googly leg break. He was expecting it to be a googly. He swept, and then after that, because it turned away, he couldn't quite get enough power on it, and then right after he gets that wicket, he then goes back to bowling googlies. And I'm like, what are you doing? A googly is effective if it's a variation ball, not your stock delivery. Then people will just start playing you as
now you know why Ravi Bishnoi struggles, because he just bowls the googlies and he can only dart it in. Vanindu Hasaranga seemed to be struggling with that. Very, very surprising, because if you look at it, Vanindu Hasaranga is one of the best Sri Lankan bowlers that in this format.
And very, very, and the thing with him is he gets you wickets. He's a wicket taking bowler. So he can at times go for runs, but you make that trade off because he's going to get you wickets.
2 for 41 really, really dented Sri Lanka's prospects today, and they now have their backs to the wall.
Absolutely.
Remember, this is the same batting lineup that Sri Lanka has that folded out for 106 in that game against Afghanistan. King D, better than Indian so-called great top order batters. King D, very harsh.
That's a harsh call,
and I don't agree
this
with
is one match, and everyone acknowledges that the Indian top order is going through a lean patch of form, but come on.
You're saying this, did you watch the Bangladesh versus Afghanistan match where their left-handers literally struggled against the likes of Mujibur Rahman and Rashid Khan? Now, if Bangladesh make it to the final, suppose you have Ravichandran Ashwin in the mix, will they be able to score properly? That is one thing that you have to understand. And remember, Bangladesh's major problems, whenever they have played, has been consistency.
Yeah.
They may have won games, they may have troubled opponents, but they don't do it on a consistent basis.
Absolutely.
And that is why they are a very, very frustrating enigma. They have the talent. They can cause wonders. Like, for example, 2015 was a golden year.
True.
Quarterfinals of the World Cup. Then they defeated India, Pakistan, South Africa in bilateral ODI series. But then they continue to reach. They touched the bottom. They lost to Zimbabwe recently, 2-1 in both the ODIs and the T20Is. But here, they can very well knock Sri Lanka out and give more spice to this rivalry. As I mentioned, broken doors, Nagin dance, on-field confrontations, there was some tension. But whenever a Bangladesh wicket fell, the Sri Lankan contingent, you get the hint.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, nothing much to talk about in the Sri Lankan bowling. I mean,
I think they would be very disappointed with the kind of bowling attack, the kind of bowling display that they've put out. And should it, and I must add that it's very, very unlikely at this point that they will chase this down. But if they do manage to chase it down, there's still a lot of question marks over that bowling. And ironically, when we talked about Sri Lanka being a dark horse, one of the things we focused on most was their bowling attack. Yet, it's their bowling that has really disappointed today.
The problem is, you are opening bowlers. They just don't have the confidence. They don't have the experience, in fact. I mean, Madhushan, he came into the side just because Dushmant Chamira was injured. Now you immediately throw him into the mixture. It does help. And I think Sri Lanka did not have a plan to counter Mehdi Hassan Miraz. I mean, he really took to the Sri Lankan bowling, and by the end of 5 overs, they were scoring at close to 10 runs per over.
Correct.
So the base was already laid for Bangladesh to go for it. And
Yeah.
they have ended it on a grand note. Even Taskin Ahmed towards the end started hitting sixes and fours for fun.
Exactly. At one point, like even though they lost a couple of wickets, they were after 11 overs, they were at 88. That means they were batting at a run rate of exactly 8 an over,
Eight
which
an
in
over.
these conditions is pretty fast. And I like to agree with Pradeep Shivalsan here. He says that it's a good team effort, and Sri Lanka will need something special to actually get back into this one. And if they do it, oh yeah, absolutely an all-time
It'll be a
great
great
chase.
chase. But again, Shane, if you look at it, this Dubai track, that whatever we have seen of it, towards the 15th over mark,
It does get much easier to
much
bat.
easier to bat, and towards the second innings also. I mean, Hong Kong, they kept a mighty Indian bowling attack and managed 152, which is no mean feat by
Yeah, that's the
itself.
thing. That's the thing with the Dubai International Stadium. I've noticed. I think it's been a trend that batting under lights just becomes a lot easier.
Yes.
That's nothing to do necessarily only with just the pitch and stuff. But yes, it does tend to ease out a lot more. And so thanks to that, of course.
And here is Rahul, and what do you think?
What has happened?
183 for 7.
Bangladesh went nuts.
And this is Bangladesh's highest T20 score in the UAE ever.
183 for 7.
Yes.
So Bangladesh are through.
All but I mean, Sri
All
Lanka. Sri Lanka's batting is not their biggest
Two
strength, I
world-class
would say.
bowlers in the Bangladesh side, Mustafizur and Shakib. But you also have Taskin Ahmed in the fray. So Taskin is also a pretty decent bowler. But yeah, Sri Lanka will have to be it will be something spectacular they'll have to do to chase it
Rajapaksa.
down. Bhanuka, that is one big asset that they have. Bhanuka, Rajapaksa, even Chamika Karunaratne. Remember, Chamika Karunaratne helped them get past 100 against Afghanistan.
And not to forget, these are, in fact, both the teams, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, these are, they have players who were born and brought up on these kind of wickets.
Exactly.
Sri Lanka, Bangladesh,
Yes.
UAE. Not exactly similar, but pretty similar. In Sri Lanka also you'll find wickets that are slow and sluggish. Here maybe it's the because there must have been a lot of wear and tear on these wickets, so they will also. So that was 187. What you are saying, I agree. This is actually a pretty good score.
Also, another good point made by Varun Parvathan is saying Mosaddeq once again coming to the party. Even last game, he batted his lower order batting, actually spared some lushes for Bangladesh. This time around, too.
How
he's-
many did he get?
Mossadegh got 24 of 9 balls. 24 of 9 balls at a strike rate of close to 300. 266.67 to be precise. Yes, Prakash Jha, Mossadegh and Afif are good future prospects for Bangladesh. Afif Hussain in particular. Ever since he scored a 50 on debut for Bangladesh, if memory serves me right, in the tri-series against Zimbabwe, I think Afif has not lived up to the potential, but he can definitely do wonders.
But majority of their runs came towards the end.
Yes, towards
Yeah,
the
towards
end.
the end, they really went after one in the.
Vanindu Hasaranga and Asita Fernando really had bad days. As I pointed out, Asita scoring a half century for Sri Lanka with the ball. Afif reminds me of Yuvraj Singh, Pradeep. Wow, that is a big call. I mean, yeah, he has that batting. I mean, he has a high backlift and he does flick in a way reminiscent of our greatest match winner that we had. But I think that's where the comparison ends. So, two world-class bowlers.
That was the comment made before.
And looking at what Khalid Mahmood said in the post-match, just before the press conference here, he said, Sri Lanka don't even have that. And I think Vanindu Hasaranga was put to the sword today. Souvik Saha, yes, this man is going to be very, very important.
Bhanuka, absolutely.
Bhanuka Rajapaksa. And remember, Bhanuka had a great time with the Punjab Kings. Didn't get that much
I mean,
of
he
game
could have
time,
gotten more
unfortunately.
game
Yeah.
time and up the order batting, but yes.
Only flamboyance-wise, he has miles to go. Yes. So, Chamika, also Kolkata Knight Riders.
He didn't get a game.
He didn't get a game. Damn you, Kolkata Knight Riders. So,
Where would they have played him?
yeah, where would you have played them? So, yes, the innings is about to begin now. Patum Nisanka. Let us not forget, Patum Nisanka is also going to be a very, very important player. Because Nisanka was the guy who really impressed in the tour of Australia. He had some attractive 50s. He batted aggressively, but he couldn't carry on. That's been Sri Lanka's biggest problem. They have not carried on after getting a good start. Remember, this is the stat, folks. Out of 14 T20Is that Sri Lanka have played recently, they have won only 4. And Bangladesh, out of the 16 T20Is that they played, they've just won 2. So you know that in T20Is, when it comes to 2022 safest bets, the two worst teams at this point of time are Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. Now, whether Sri Lanka chases this down remains to be seen, because remember, folks, If Bangladesh wins, Sri Lanka are out.
Yeah, this is a simple match. There's no real permutations and combinations here.
Yes.
Winner is through, loser is gone. Tata
Loser
bye-bye.
is gone. So 184. This will be the highest chase if achieved in this edition of the Asia Cup.
Yeah.
Let's see. They made the majority of runs in the opposite Text well, but runs are runs.
No, but that's clever in this
Yep.
format. Yeah, very very clever in this format.
Varun Parvat, the last question I'll take. If we can correlate Shakib is like VK of Bangla, but how does he get so much flack from fans of VK? Varun, see, Shakib,
He's a character. He's a character.
It's not held by all his off-field demeanors, whatever has happened. I mean, you remember one Dhaka Premier League game in which
He kicked the stumps.
he threw the stumps at the umpire, expressed dissent. He was also in the news for other obscene incidents which happened in 2014 and 15, unfortunately. Then also there have been questions about his commitment, whether he will play all formats of Bangladesh, will he play only league cricket. All that has come into the equation.
Absolutely.
So Shakib gets a lot of flack because of his attitude. Virat Kohli, on the other hand, he handles himself with grace even off the field, and that is why you see everybody loves Virat Kohli. Very few
Anyway, I
haters.
think the chase has begun, so
The
we're
chase
going to
has
take your
begun.
leave.
Yep, we'll join you at the end of the match
After the
to
match.
see who is through to the Super Fours, Bangladesh or Sri Lanka. So stay tuned to Sports Today for all the latest analysis. We'll be back.
Like,
post-match.
share, subscribe, comment. Don't forget to follow us, of course, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well.
And don't forget to check out the Sports Thug English website, and also don't forget to download the Sports Thug app. Thank you. Bye bye. Vanakkam.